If I give you a pure semiconductor like silicon and ask you to dope it either with n-type impurities or p-type impurities, then basically you will be adding pentavalent atoms in the pure semiconductor to make n-type semiconductor and trivalent atom into pure semiconductor to make p-type semiconductor. Now the question is, if you make n-type semiconductor by adding pentavalent atoms, then how the number of electrons will vary with respect to temperature? Let us see. So if you are making n-type semiconductor, to make n-type semiconductor, you will be adding n-type impurities, that is pentavalent atom into pure semiconductor. Then the energy bands will be, there is a conduction band and then there is a valence band, and nearby the conduction band there is a donor energy level, which are having electrons which are due to 5th electron in pentavalent atom. So these are donor energy level electrons. Now valence band is full of electrons and conduction band is empty. So at lower temperature, the electron which are at donor energy level can go into conduction band, but valence band electron cannot go into conduction band at low temperature. So electrons which are in valence band to go into conduction band are needing more temperature. Now before we draw number of electrons for n-type semiconductor, let us draw first number of electrons for pure semiconductor, let us say silicon. So at y-axis we will be plotting number of electrons, that is n, and at x-axis we will be plotting temperature. So for pure semiconductor, we know there is a conduction band and there is a valence band, and in between or in middle there is a intrinsic Fermi energy level. Okay. So at 0 Kelvin, since valence band is full of electrons and conduction band is empty, so at 0 Kelvin no electron from valence band can go into conduction band, because electrons in valence band are not having any energy to go into conduction band. So at 0 Kelvin there will be no electron hole pair generation, and since there is a no electron, so at 0 Kelvin there is a 0 electron. Now as you increase the temperature, let us say this is T1 temperature, this is T2 temperature. So as you increase the temperature, at lower temperature for pure semiconductor there won't be any electron, and after a particular temperature electron and hole pair will be generating and number of electron will be increasing exponentially. So this is how number of electrons will be increasing in case of pure semiconductor when we increase the temperature. Now let us look at the n-type semiconductor, how number of electrons will be increasing when we increase the temperature. So at lower temperature, let us say T1, these all the electrons which are available at donor energy level will get enough energy to get into this conduction band. So all the electrons which are available at this donor energy level will go into conduction band, and this is called complete impurity ionization. So at lower temperature, let us say 50 Kelvin, so complete impurity ionization will take place. Okay. So number of electrons will start increasing at lower temperature exponentially. So this is how number of electrons will be increasing exponentially. Now what will happen after this T1 Kelvin? Let us say complete impurity ionization take place at T1 Kelvin. Now after T1 Kelvin what will happen? Number of electrons will be constant, because there won't be any electron which is going from valence band to conduction band, because the electron which are available in valence band to go into conduction band, these electrons are needing more temperature which we did not provide yet. Okay. So let us say after T2 Kelvin temperature, this electrons will get enough energy to get into conduction band, and these electrons will also start going into conduction band. Then what will happen? At higher temperature electrons will also start increasing, and at very high temperature number of electrons plot for n-type semiconductor will follow the number of electrons plot for pure semiconductor, because for higher temperature or at higher temperature extrinsic semiconductor acts as intrinsic. Extrinsic semiconductor behaves as intrinsic semiconductor. Now why does it happen? Because complete impurity ionization, because this band to band transition, that is electrons which are going from valence band to conduction band, which is called band to band transition, will overcome this complete impurity ionization. Okay. So this is why this number of electrons plot for n-type semiconductor will follow number of electrons plot for pure semiconductor at higher temperature. So this is how we can plot number of electrons with respect to temperature for n-type semiconductor. So similarly, we can plot number of holes also with respect to temperature.